We can't always control what happens to us, but we can always control how we react to it. The book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, by Mark Manson, isn't actually about not giving any fucks at all. Instead, it's about choosing your fucks carefully, embracing the negative, taking responsibility for how we respond, and about prioritizing good values. The book is divided into 9 chapters, which we will now go through together. Chapter 1, Don't Try. The world constantly wants you to believe that we need nice things to be happy, be it a nice car, a good job, or a pretty girlfriend. We are told to always strive for more and more. But more isn't always better. The more we have of something, the less we enjoy it. You have a limited supply of fucks to give in life and a limited amount of energy to spend. So, instead of trying to be happy all the time, get clear on what truly matters, focus your choices on those few priorities, and accept that you will still make stupid mistakes and suffer from time to time. Chapter 2, Happiness is a Problem. We like the idea that there's some form of ultimate happiness that can be attained, and therefore we often think if this or that happens, then I will be happy. However, life is a never-ending series of solving problems. They do not go away. They are just going to get replaced by other problems. Which is good because the greatest satisfaction in life comes not from the end destination, but from overcoming obstacles and difficulties. So don't hope for a life without problems. Hope for a life with good and meaningful problems. Chapter 3, You Are Not Special. When people think they are exceptional, they often feel entitled to exceptional results without exceptional effort. Entitlement can play out in one of 2 ways. Number 1, I'm awesome and everyone else sucks, so I deserve special treatment. Number 2, I suck and everyone else is awesome, so I deserve special treatment. The bad news is, you're not special, you're average. And most of those amazing stories you see or hear on the mass media are the extremes, not the norm. Having unrealistic expectations of what's normal is dangerous. It'll only make you feel insecure and give you a false sense of entitlement to success. The good news is, problems are also not unique. If you have a problem, chances are millions of other people have had it at some point. Do not make the same mistakes as others, learn from their problems, and you will achieve your goals faster. Chapter 4, The Value of Suffering. Our values determine how we define success and failure, how we see the world, and how we measure ourselves and everyone else. To have a good life, you should only give a fuck about the right values. Good values are achieved internally, reality-based, socially constructive, and controllable, whereas bad values are reliant on external events, irrational, socially destructive, and not controllable. When you give better fucks, you get better problems, and when you get better problems, you get a better life. Chapter 5, You Are Always Choosing. People often mix up responsibility and fault, but they are different things. Fault is past tense. Responsibility is present tense. Fault results from choices that have already been made. Responsibility results from choices you're currently making. A lot of people avoid solving their problems by denying that the problems exist or by believing that they are outside their control. You must distinguish fault and responsibility, take full responsibility for your problems, and stop complaining or looking for someone to blame. No matter what happens in your life, you can always choose how to react to any given situation. Chapter 6, You're wrong about everything, but so am I. When we learn something new, we don't go from wrong to right. Rather, we go from wrong to slightly less wrong. And when we learn something additional, we go from slightly less wrong to slightly less wrong than that, and then to even less wrong than that, and so on. People who base their self-worth on being right about everything prevent themselves from learning from their mistakes. Because the only way to grow is to realize that your perspectives, knowledge, and even your values and beliefs can always change or be proven wrong. Instead of looking to be right all the time, we should be looking for how we're wrong all the time because we are. Chapter 7, Failure is the Way Forward. If we're unwilling to fail, then we're unwilling to succeed. Failures aren't the end, but rather the beginning of learning. By facing, instead of avoiding them, we learn, grow, and understand ourselves better. If someone is better than you at something, then it's likely because the person has failed at it more than you have. Our most radical changes in perspective often happen at the bottom of our worst moments. It's only when we feel intense pain that we're willing to look at our values and question why they seem to be failing us. Chapter 8: The Importance of Saying No. Life is filled with endless opportunities, but spreading oneself too thin can be damaging. The only way to achieve meaning and a sense of importance in one's life is through a rejection of alternatives, a narrowing of freedom, a choice of commitment to one place, one belief, or one person. By setting boundaries and being selective in our commitments, we're spending our time and energy more effectively. It's about understanding our values, recognizing what truly matters, and prioritizing accordingly. We all must give a fuck about something in order to value something, and to value something, we must reject what is not that something. Chapter 9. And then you die. Death scares us, and because it scares us, we avoid thinking about it, talking about it, and sometimes even acknowledging it. However, you are going to die someday, and in your short life you only have a certain amount of fucks to give. The truth is, death gives life meaning. Without it, all experiences would have no reason and all of our values would drop to zero. If we confront death, we can focus on things that truly matter and find peace and happiness in doing them. The only way to be comfortable with death is to understand and see yourself as something bigger than yourself and to choose values that go beyond serving yourself. Finding something important and meaningful in your life is the most productive use of your time and energy. This is true because every life has problems associated with it, and finding meaning in your life will help you sustain the effort needed to overcome the particular problems you face. Therefore, we can say that the key to living a good life is not giving a fuck about more things, but rather, giving a fuck only about the things that align with your personal values.